Disabled or not, I don't care. A birthday doesn't exempt you from the rules. Take the banner down, or I will. She says it while pulling the birthday banner off the porch railing, in front of 15 children mid-song. The fabric catches on a nail. She yanks harder. The corner tears, a clean rip through the letter D. The D his mother hand-sewed over 4 months. Behind her, 15 children sit around a folding table covered in a plastic tablecloth. Paper plates. A grocery store cake with blue frosting and 10 candles. One already blown out by the wind. A piñata shaped like a dinosaur hangs from the porch beam. At the head of the table, a boy sits in a wheelchair. He's holding a piece of cake, frosting on his fingers. He's 10 years old. His name is stitched in blue and yellow on the banner she's now rolling up under her arm. Deshaun Miller. Cerebral palsy. This is his first birthday party with friends. His first one. Ever. Victoria Ashford unclips the second side. The banner falls. She catches it, rolls it tight, neat, precise, the way you roll a yoga mat, tucks it under her arm, and walks toward her white Range Rover without looking back. Her heels click on the driveway. Not one glance at the boy. Not one glance at the 15 children who have stopped singing mid-word and now stand frozen, some still holding paper cups of juice. She doesn't know there's a Ring camera on the house across the street. She doesn't know the boy's mother sewed that banner by hand. Every letter, every stitch, over 4 months on a CNA's salary. And she doesn't know that 12 million people are about to watch what she just did. Hey everyone, my cousin tagged me in a Ring camera video at 2 in the morning. Her message: watch this and try not to throw your phone. I expected 30 seconds of outrage bait. I got 47 seconds of silence, the kind where 15 kids stop singing mid-word and nobody moves. One commenter wrote, "I'm a special needs mom. I watched it 4 times and cried every time." Another one tagged her HOA board with, "This is what you look like." A dad in the replies said he drove to his daughter's school the next morning and hugged her at drop-off because he couldn't stop thinking about that boy's face. This video didn't just go viral. It made people do things. How does someone look at 15 children singing happy birthday and see a code violation? What kind of person rips a handmade banner off a porch while a child in a wheelchair watches and drives away without looking back? $700 in fines on a bi-weekly paycheck of $830, enough for half her rent, enough for Deshaun's physical therapy copay, not enough for both. And a $13 an hour mom is about to decide she's done being quiet. If you believe no one should have the power to ruin a child's birthday, follow this channel, because this story doesn't end with tears. It ends with 147 hands in the air. But first, you need to understand what that banner cost, not in dollars, in months. Deshaun Miller, 10 years old, lives with his mom in a small rental house in Magnolia Estates, a 74-home subdivision outside Charlotte, North Carolina. He has cerebral palsy. He's been in a wheelchair since he was 4. His legs work sometimes, short distances, with a walker on good days. He draws better than most adults. He can't run, can't climb the jungle gym, can't do the things that make a kid popular in 5th grade. School is complicated. He has 3 friends, maybe 2.5. The third one sits with him at lunch but never comes to his house. Last year, his mom invited 20 kids to his birthday. 2 showed up. 1 left after 45 minutes because her mom was in a hurry. Deshaun spent the rest of the afternoon drawing at the kitchen table. He didn't say anything. He just drew. Keisha found the drawing later, a birthday party with 100 people. All stick figures. All smiling. This year is different. Deshaun gets a new teacher, Mrs. Paulson, who pairs him with a kid named Tommy Rodriguez for a science project about volcanoes. Tommy thinks Deshaun's drawings are insane, tells his friends. Suddenly, Deshaun has a lunch table, then a group chat. Then one afternoon, Tommy says, "Bro, when's your birthday?" 15 RSVPs. 15. Deshaun checks the guest list every morning for 2 weeks. "Mom, did anyone cancel?" Every day, same question, same answer. "No, baby." Nobody canceled. His mother, Keisha Miller, 32, certified nursing assistant at Sunrise Senior Care, $13 an hour, 3 shifts a week. Second job, weekend caregiver for a quadriplegic man named Mr. Ellis. She sleeps 5 hours a night on a good night. She drives a 2011 Honda Civic with 187,000 miles and a check engine light that's been on since February. No partner, no family nearby, just her and Deshawn. Keisha can't afford a custom birthday banner. Party City wants $45, so she makes one. She buys fabric scraps from Walmart, $7.12 after tax. She borrows a sewing machine from Mrs. Chen next door. Every night after Deshawn falls asleep, 10:30 p.m. to midnight, sometimes later, she cuts letters from blue and yellow fabric, pins them. The needle pricks her finger twice the first week. She sucks her thumb and keeps going. The sewing machine jams every third letter. She finishes by hand, pulling thread through stiff fabric until her fingertips go numb. The kitchen smells like fabric glue and the cold coffee she forgets to drink. The D comes out slightly crooked. She almost rips it out and starts over, looks at it again, decides it's perfect. 4 months. That's what the banner takes. Not because it's complicated, because she can only work on it when he's asleep, and some nights she's too tired to thread a needle. The morning of the party, Keisha hangs the banner on the porch railing. Happy 10th birthday, Deshawn. Blue letters, yellow stars. 1 crooked D. Deshawn wheels out the front door, sees it, stops. Mom, you made this? Happy birthday, baby. He reaches up and touches the fabric, runs his fingers over the letters, his name, in something his mother's hands built. He doesn't let go for a while. Victoria Vicky Ashford, the kind of woman who says, I love kids, while actively hating the sound of them. 55, interior designer. Clients pay $350 an hour for her to decide whether their curtains should be linen or silk. She bought the biggest house in Magnolia Estates, 4,200 square feet, all white interior, imported Italian tile so pale it looks like frozen milk. She runs the HOA the way she runs a design consultation. Nothing exists unless she approves it. Last summer, the Okafor family, Nigerian immigrants, 3 kids, sets up a small inflatable pool in their backyard, not visible from the street. Vicky walks through the Okafor's side gate without asking, photographs the pool, and issues a $200 fine for unauthorized temporary structures. Mrs. Okafor comes outside. But it's our backyard. Vicky doesn't look up from her phone. Section 3.2 doesn't distinguish between front and back. The Okafors deflate the pool that evening. Their kids watch from the kitchen window. She's been president 3 years. In that time, 7 violations issued against 4 families. The Okafors, the Millers, the Wynns, the Garcias, all families of color. 0 violations for the 23 white families, including the Prestons, who have a trampoline visible from the street that's been there for 6 months. Vicky's daughter attends a boarding school in Switzerland. When she graduates, Vicky hangs a graduation banner on her own porch. White linen, gold lettering, Pottery Barn, $89 for 2 full weeks. No 30-day approval filed, no violation. Board member Janet sees it, takes a photo, files it away, says nothing. Not yet. 3 days before Deshawn's birthday, Keisha finds a violation notice in her mailbox. Banners, signs, and temporary displays require 30-day advance written approval per Section 5.1. Please remove the display within 24 hours or a $200 fine will be assessed. Keisha calls Vicky that evening. Her voice shakes. Miss Ashford, it's Keisha Miller on Maple Court. My son's birthday is Saturday. That's 3 days away. Can I get an exception? Just 1 day. Then I'll take it down. Sunday morning. I promise. Mrs. Miller, I understand it's important to you, but if I make exceptions for one person, I have to make them for everyone. The form takes 30 days. You should have planned ahead. She should have planned ahead. She spent 4 months sewing it by hand. But 30 days notice, That was the part she forgot. Because when you're working 2 jobs and raising a child alone and sleeping 5 hours a night, paperwork isn't what keeps you up. Birthday banners are. Saturday, the party. Keisha decides to keep the banner up. 1 day, 1 violation, $200 she can't afford, but she'll figure it out. She always does. The kids arrive starting at 1:30. More children than have ever been inside her house. Tommy Rodriguez shows up first, carrying a gift wrapped in newspaper because his dad forgot wrapping paper. 15 kids total. Paper plates, juice boxes, a grocery store cake with blue frosting that cost $14.99. The kitchen smells like boxed cake mix and candle wax. A piñata Tommy's dad Mike bought for $12. Green dinosaur, already dented from the trunk. Deshaun wheels between groups. He laughs. Actually laughs. The kind where he throws his head back and his whole body rocks in the chair. He tells Tommy a joke. Tommy doubles over. 2 girls from his class ask to see his drawings. He shows them his sketchbook. One says, "You should sell these." Deshaun grins so wide his cheeks shake. Keisha stands by the kitchen window, coffee mug in hand. She watches her son have the day she's been saving for. The day she's been sewing for at midnight for 4 months. Her eyes get wet. The good kind. 2:47 p.m. The kids gather around the table. Someone lights the candles. 10 flames. They start singing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Deshaun. A white Range Rover pulls up to the curb. Victoria Ashford steps out. Blazer, sunglasses. She crosses the lawn, past the folding table, past 15 children mid-song. She doesn't speak to anyone, doesn't acknowledge the party. She walks directly to the porch railing. She reaches up, unclips the left side. The fabric catches on a nail. She pulls harder. The sound is soft, final, like tearing paper. The corner rips through blue fabric. She unclips the right side. The banner falls. She catches it, rolls it up, tucks it under her arm. The singing stops. Not all at once. It dies in a wave. Tommy's voice first, then the girl next to him, then the rest, until the only sound is the piñata creaking on its string. 15 children stare. Tommy pauses mid-word, mouth open. A girl in a pink shirt steps backward into her mother's legs. Keisha pushes through the kitchen door. Please, it's his first party with friends. Please. You had 30 days to submit the form, Mrs. Miller. This is on you, not me. Vicky turns, walks back to the Range Rover, opens the door, gets in, closes it. The engine starts. She pulls away from the curb. 15 children stand in the yard. Nobody moves. Nobody picks up their juice. The candles on the cake are still burning. 3 have melted down to the frosting. Deshaun sits at the head of the table. He's still holding his piece of cake, frosting on his fingers. 1 tear rolls down his cheek and lands on the blue icing. Then another. He doesn't wipe them. He's looking at the empty porch railing. 2 small nail holes. A torn scrap of blue fabric caught on a nail, fluttering in the warm air. 1 week later, Keisha opens her mailbox. Another envelope. Magnolia Estates HOA. She opens it at the kitchen counter, standing. Fine. $500. Unapproved. Outdoor gathering exceeding 10 guests on residential property. Section 6.4. $500. Keisha sets it on the counter, looks at it. $200 plus $500. $700. Her bi-weekly paycheck is $830. She was fined for throwing her disabled son a birthday party, but across the street, in a house Vicky never thinks about. A Ring. Camera has been recording since 2:44 p.m. Every second, every frame, including the moment she pulls the banner and 15 children go silent. That night, Deshaun doesn't talk. He wheels himself to his room, closes the door. Keisha gives him an hour, then knocks, opens the door, finds him drawing. Not his usual superheroes. He's drawing banners, banner on a house, banner on a building, banner on the moon, a dozen versions, all with his name. Keisha sits on her bed, holds both fines. $200, $500. Her phone bill is due Friday. Deshawn's physical therapy copay is next week. She said disabled or not, she doesn't care. She whispers it. Not to anyone. To the ceiling. She picks up her phone. Almost calls Vicky to apologize. Types the number. Puts the phone down. Picks it up. Types it again. She doesn't know what she would apologize for. She just knows it's easier if she does. The next day, Keisha drives past the HOA office on her way to work. The dumpster behind the building sits by the fence. She sees a corner of blue fabric sticking out from under the lid. She parks, opens the dumpster. The banner is there, crumpled, shoved between two garbage bags, one full tear down the middle. But the letters, every one she sewed by hand, are intact. Happy 10th birthday, Deshawn. Even the crooked D. She puts it in her trunk, drives to work, doesn't unfold it. Not yet. Monday. School. Deshawn tells Mrs. Paulson he doesn't want to talk about his birthday. She asks why. He says, "A lady took my banner down while we were singing." Tommy hears it, goes home that afternoon, tells his dad, Mike Rodriguez, firefighter, Station 14. He's held a child pulled from a collapsed floor. He's carried people out of burning rooms. He hears Tommy's story and his jaw locks. She did what? Mike checks his Ring camera. He installed it 6 months ago after a package theft, pointed at the street. Standard 180-degree view. He pulls the footage from Saturday. All 47 seconds of it. Vicky walking in, past the table, past the kids, reaching up, pulling, the tear, rolling, the banner. Keisha running out. Please. Vicky, this is on you. Walking away. 15 children, not moving. Mike watches it twice. He is a man who runs into fire for a living. This makes him sit down. He calls Keisha. I have the video. All of it. 47 seconds. I'm posting it tonight unless you tell me not to. Mike, I don't want trouble. Keisha, she walked into your yard and ripped your son's birthday banner off the porch in front of 15 kids while they were singing happy birthday. The trouble already happened. What would you do if someone walked into your yard and tore down the banner you sewed every night for 4 months, the one your child touched that morning and said, "Mom, you made this"? Would you stay quiet? Keisha sits with the phone pressed to her ear, Mike waiting on the other end. The fines on the counter. Deshawn's drawings on the fridge. Or would you let the world see what she did? Keisha closes her eyes, opens them. Post it. Mike posts the Ring video on Facebook at 9:14 p.m. with one caption. This HOA president ripped down a disabled kid's birthday banner in front of 15 children. My Ring camera caught everything. Hashtag banner for Deshawn. 24 hours, 2.1 million views. 48 hours, 7.4 million. 72 hours, 12,430,000 shares. 89,000 comments. Hashtag banner for Deshawn trends nationally for 2 days. The comments. I'm a mom of a special needs kid. My hands are shaking watching this. What kind of person walks past 15 children and sees a violation? She rolled that banner up like luggage, like it was nothing. 147 homes in that neighborhood? Only one person complained, and she's the one who ripped it down. Keisha's phone rings all day. News stations, podcasters, a producer from Inside Edition. She doesn't answer any of them. She answers one call. Diane Foster, disability rights attorney, former ADA enforcement officer, now in private practice. She saw the video at 6 a.m. Mrs. Miller, I've seen the footage. I'd like to represent you. No charge. Diane asks Keisha 3 questions, then says the thing Keisha didn't expect. Has the HOA ever fined a white family for a banner or a sign? I don't know. I do. I pulled their records this morning. The answer is no. 7 violations, 4 families of color, Keisha, the Okafors, the Wins, the Garcias, over 2 years. 0 violations against 23 white families with similar or worse infractions. One family had a 6-foot inflatable Santa in the front yard every December. Never fined. The Prestons had a trampoline visible from the street for 6 months. Never fined. And then, board member Janet Lee contacts Diane privately. Janet sends a photo she took 8 months ago, Vicky's own porch. White linen graduation banner, gold lettering, 2 weeks. No 30-day approval form, no violation issued, no enforcement. Janet: I've been waiting for someone willing to use this. That Saturday morning, 1 week after Deshawn's party, the Parent Alliance acts. 8 parents from Deshawn's class pool together. They buy matching banners. White fabric, blue letters. Happy birthday, Deshawn. Some make them by hand. 40 houses hang them. Every lawn on Maple Court, Elm Drive, and Oak Lane. Hashtag banner for Deshawn banners. From porch railings, fence posts, mailboxes, and windows. Deshawn wheels down the sidewalk after school. He reads his name on the first house, the second, the third. He doesn't say anything. He just wheels, and reads, and wheels. 40 houses. His name, everywhere. Here's what Vicky doesn't know. She doesn't know Janet has the graduation banner photo, time-stamped, uploaded to cloud storage, forwarded to Diane. She doesn't know Diane has pulled every violation record from the last 3 years, organized, cross-referenced, color-coded. She doesn't know the ADA complaint has already been filed. Keisha did it herself, Tuesday night at the kitchen table, Diane on speakerphone, Deshawn asleep in the next room. And she doesn't know about the vote count. Janet has been calling neighbors all week. The number isn't close. It isn't even a conversation. And the price Victoria Ashford is about to pay for ripping down a handmade banner at a 10-year-old's birthday party, I promise you, will be larger than any fine she's ever issued. Vicky spent 3 years policing other people's front yards. Keisha spent 4 months sewing one banner. One of them built a community. The other just lost one. Let me ask you this. If your HOA told you that your child's birthday banner needed 30 days written approval, and then their own president's graduation banner hung for 2 weeks with 0 enforcement, what would you do? Comment below, I want to hear it. But there's one more thing Vicky doesn't know. The ADA complaint doesn't just cover the banner. It covers the $500 fine for the unapproved gathering. Because fining a family for hosting a birthday party for a disabled child triggers a separate federal protection. Diane hasn't told Keisha this part yet. She's saving it for the meeting. And what it means for Vicky's entire 3-year record of violations, every single one, is something no CC and RS booklet can fix. Thursday evening, HOA board meeting, Community Room B in the Magnolia Estates Clubhouse. Standard capacity, 40 chairs. Tonight, 147 homeowners. Standing room only. People lining the hallway. Someone props the fire exit open so people outside can hear. Normal meetings draw 15 to 20 people. This one fills in 12 minutes. Vicky opens the meeting at 7:01. She's prepared. Printed CC and RS booklet, highlighted sections, water bottle. She sits at the front table with 2 board members, Janet and Richard, Vicky's husband. I want to address the social media situation directly. Her voice is measured, controlled. I applied the CC and RS consistently and equally. Section 5.1 requires 30 days written approval for temporary displays. That rule has been in place for 5 years. I enforced it as written. That is my job. She pauses, looks at the room. 147 faces looking back. I understand emotions are high, but if we start making exceptions for every situation, this neighborhood loses its standards. She almost says, sob story. She swallows. The word. The room catches it anyway. A woman in the third row shakes her head. Diane steps forward. "Thank you, Mrs. Ashford. I'd like to present some information for the board and the membership." The projector clicks on. The Ring camera video plays on the white wall behind Vicky's head. 47 seconds. Every person in the room watches Vicky walk across the lawn, past the table, past the children, reach up, pull, the tear, the roll, the walk away. Deshawn's face. Keisha running out. Please. No one speaks. The projector light flickers on the wall. Then, violation records. A spreadsheet fills the screen. 7 violations, 4 families, all families of color. 2 columns to the right, 23 white families, similar or identical infractions. 0 violations, side by side. Then, Janet's photo, Vicky's porch, white linen graduation, banner, gold lettering. Hung for 14 days, no approval form on file, no violation issued, timestamp, 8 months ago. Mrs. Ashford applied the rules consistently to families of color. She didn't apply them to herself. Diane presents the ADA complaint, failure to provide disability accommodations. Section 5.1 has no exception for disability-related celebrations, which itself constitutes an ADA violation. Every fine issued against Keisha Miller is discriminatory under the Fair Housing Act. Section 3604. Silence. Vicky's hand rests on her CC&R's booklet. Her index finger taps the cover. Once, twice. Keisha stands. She walks to the podium, slow. She's not used to rooms like this. She's used to night shifts, and sewing machines, and 5 hours of sleep. Deshawn wheels beside her. He holds a folded piece of paper. He's been holding it since they got in the car. He hands it to his mom. She unfolds it. Her hands shake. Deshawn reaches up from his wheelchair and touches her arm. She looks down. He nods. She looks at the room. My son is 10 years old. He has cerebral palsy. He has never had a birthday party where more than 2 children came. This year, 15 came. For the first time in his whole life, he felt like every other kid. I sewed that banner by hand every night after he went to sleep for 4 months on a $13 an hour salary. Because I couldn't afford to buy one, and because I wanted him to wake up on his birthday and know that someone in this world would stay up past midnight for him. Mrs. Ashford walked into my yard, pulled that banner down in front of 15 children, rolled it up like a towel, and walked away. She didn't look at my son. She didn't look at any of them. She pauses. Her hands have stopped shaking. You said disabled or not, you don't care. She looks at Deshawn. He's looking at her. But my son, sitting right here, taught 147 people that kindness is what matters. And that's bigger than any rule you ever wrote. Silence. 1 second. 2. Mrs. Chen, the neighbor who closed her curtains when she heard the crying, stands up first. Then Mike. Then Tommy's mom. Then a man in the back row who has never attended a meeting in his life. Then a woman with a baby on her hip. Then a teenager who came with his parents. Standing, row by row, until every person in the room is on their feet. Motion to remove Victoria Ashford from the HOA presidency. 147 in favor, 0 opposed. The camera finds Richard Ashford, Vicky's husband, 3rd row. His hand is up, for the motion, against his wife. Vicky turns. Richard. He stares at the floor. Vicky reaches for her CC&Rs booklet. Her hands shake. She picks it up. Papers slide off the table. She bends to collect them. Nobody helps. She walks toward the side door, passes Mrs. Okafor, the woman whose children watched their pool deflate through a kitchen window, passes the empty chair where Janet sat, passes 147 people who all said the same word at the same time. No. The HOA settles. $12,000 to Keisha. Fine refunds plus damages. All violations against the 4 families of color vacated, erased, every one. CC&RS amended that same month, new language, voted on unanimously. Birthday and celebration displays are always permitted on residential property, no approval required. Vicky resigns formally 3 days after the vote. Her interior design firm loses 6 clients within a month. She never attends another HOA meeting. She never comments publicly. She posts one Instagram story, a white room, a candle, the caption, "Sometimes the most design thing you can do is walk away." 41 likes, 0 comments. Vicky puts her house up for sale 2 months later. The listing agent stages it beautifully. White walls, fresh flowers, neutral tones. But through the living room window, you can see Maple Court. Banners are still up. Some neighbors replaced them with permanent yard signs. One family painted their fence with blue and yellow letters. "Deshawn, we see you." Her neighborhood, not hers anymore. Keisha brings the banner home from the trunk of her Civic. She hasn't looked at it since the day she pulled it from the dumpster. She irons it flat on the kitchen table. The tear runs down the center, a clean line through birthday. She gets her needle, her thread. She sews the tear shut. Her stitches are small and tight. She doesn't hide the seam. She lets it show. She frames the banner, the crooked D, the tear, the stitch line running through the middle, and hangs it above Deshawn's bed. Deshawn's 11th birthday. 200 people come. The Parent Alliance turns it into a block party. Mike's fire crew brings a truck, lights and sirens for 30 seconds. Kids screaming with joy. Tommy and Deshawn blow out candles together. Keisha stands in the yard, looks at the house. The banner in the bedroom window, visible from the street. The crooked D. The tear she sewed back together. The letters she stitched at midnight while her son slept. Make-A-Wish contacts the family 3 weeks later. They ask Deshawn what he wants. He doesn't say a trip. He doesn't say a celebrity. He says, art supplies. Good ones. Because I want to draw birthday banners for kids who never had a party. Keisha starts nursing school in the fall. Full scholarship. A GoFundMe she never asked for raises $47,000. 000 in 6 days. She cries when she finds out. The good kind. Think about that. $7.12 in fabric scraps. 4 months of midnight. And it built a scholarship, a movement, and a boy who wants to make banners for other kids. $7.12. Vicky looked at that banner and saw a violation. Keisha looked at it and saw 4 months of midnight. Deshawn looked at it and saw proof that someone in the world would stay up late for him. That's the difference between a rule and a reason. If this story hit you, do 3 things. Subscribe, because next week, an HOA president cuts down a 71-year-old veteran janitor's Christmas lights at 3 a.m. on Christmas Eve. His 7-year-old granddaughter wakes up and asks, "Abuelo, who stole Christmas?" That one is going to wreck you. Comment. Tell me about a time someone tried to take something small from you that meant everything. I read every one. And share this, because somewhere out there, a mom is sewing something at midnight, and she needs to know it matters.